It was nearing dawn when the automatic glass doors of St. Luke's Rural Hospital hissed open. Nurse Emily Harris, sipping cold coffee and reviewing her chart, barely looked up, until the sound of muffled gasps filled the hallway. She turned toward the entrance, and her cup slipped from her fingers. A large wolf, gray, broad-shouldered, its coat thick with melting snow, stood in the center of the lobby. Its breath steamed in the frigid air. But it wasn't the wolf itself that stunned everyone, it was what lay in its jaws. A baby. The bundle was small, wrapped in frayed, blood-stained blankets, clutched gently between the animal's teeth like porcelain. The wolf padded slowly forward, unwavering and silent, its yellow eyes calm, determined. It laid the infant down carefully at the edge of the reception desk and took a single step back. Emily, frozen, stared at the baby. It stirred, mewed weakly. She rushed forward, her medical training kicking in, checking for breath, pulse, color. The baby was cold but alive, barely. She wrapped him in a thermal blanket and shouted for the pediatric team. By the time she looked back, the wolf was gone. It had vanished into the snow. The incident stunned the hospital staff, but once the baby was stabilized, focus turned to questions. Who was the child? Why had a wild animal carried it to a human place of safety? Emily couldn't stop thinking about those eyes, both the child's and the wolf's. They shared a look she couldn't define, something ancient, like grief and wisdom and hope all at once. The police were called. Animal control scoured the nearby woods. No parents came forward. No missing child reports matched the baby. Social services labeled him Baby Doe, but Emily called him Lucas. As days passed, Emily became increasingly attached to him. She took her breaks in the NICU, feeding him, humming lullabies. He seemed to calm when she held him. And every night, she dreamed of snow and trees, of wolves howling under the moon. Unable to forget what she'd seen, Emily began researching. She tracked down a retired park ranger named Jonah Fields, who had worked the nearby forests for over 3 decades. When she told him what happened, he grew pale. There was a woman, he said, voice low. Mara. Lived deep in the forest. Bit of a recluse. Her husband, a biologist, studied wolves. Friendly sort, but odd. About 20 years back, they vanished during a blizzard. Only a wolf pack was seen after that. Jonah explained how Mara had raised an orphaned wolf pup as a companion. They said she could speak to them. Not in words. In something deeper. Spirit, maybe. Emily pressed further. Jonah G. Emily pressed further. Jonah gave her directions to the ruins of Mara's cabin. She took a day off and hiked into the forest. Snow crunched underfoot, and the cold bit through her coat. But something pulled her forward. At the site, she found the remains of a collapsed log cabin. Charred wood. A child's mitten half buried in the snow. But more than that, she found a large stone with carvings, symbols she didn't recognize, and paw prints, fresh ones, circling it. Wolves had been here recently. That night, back at the hospital, Lucas cried for hours. Nothing soothed him. Emily sat beside his crib, exhausted, whispering calming words. In the dim light, she noticed something, a mark on his ankle. A small birthmark in the shape of a crescent moon. The same shape she had seen carved into the stone at Mara's cabin. A chill ran down her spine. She told the hospital staff. They dismissed it as coincidence. But Emily knew. Lucas wasn't just a lost baby. He had been carried here. Not abandoned, not left to fate. Chosen. Protected. By a creature feared and misunderstood. A week later, the wolf returned. This time, it waited outside the hospital, seen by a janitor on the night shift. Security camera footage showed the animal sitting by the entrance, staring at the door, unmoving. Not aggressive. Patient. As if checking in. Emily rushed down, heart hammering. When she stepped outside, the wolf rose. Their eyes met. For a moment, time paused. And then the wolf howled. It was a sound of mourning and release. The sky echoed with it. Snowflakes drifted like ash. Then the wolf turned and padded back into the trees. Emily returned upstairs and sat beside Lucas. Tears slipped down her cheeks, soft and silent. Because in that moment, she knew the truth. The wolf had not just brought the baby to safety. It had said goodbye.